Prophet ﷺ special because it is the head that tells the history of the Messenger of God or the history of the majesty of the most authentic Islam figure. His history we have received through the most accurate scientific lineage, and most definitely, this scientific line does not leave room for us to doubt the truth of the big and important event that happens. Head of Rasulullah SAW covering every corner of humanity, possessed by humans. It tells us the life journey of Muhammad SAW as a 30 young man with noble character that is before God glorify His Majesty with His message. It is an obligation for every able-bodied Muslim in any form and on every occasion. Preaching is the duty of the messenger and the command that was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad SAW, who was the first preacher since the revelation of Islam. The meaning of Dakwah from a language point of view is that Dakwah against Islam is technique to draw people's attention to its teaching either theoretically or practically. The word Dakwah also comes from an Arabic word that means inviting or calling for something good. According to the prominent Islamic scholar, Arafi once emphasized and revealed that the importance of good morals as a core to Islamic teaching is in line with the words of the Prophet ﷺ, who placed himself as a noble person sent to bring mercy and moral builders to all mankind.
Next, we move to research questions. Number 1. How did the physical violence and persecution affect the growth and spread of Islam during its early years? Number 2. How did Prophet Muhammad overcome social and cultural resistance in Meccan society? Number 3. How did Prophet Muhammad address theological and doctrinal disagreements among his followers while propagating his message of Islam? And the last one is, what role do Malaysian cultural traditions and Islamic teachings play in supporting individuals facing personal losses, reflecting on the experiences of Prophet Muhammad?
I have 3 research objectives for this research. First, to discuss how the Prophet Muhammad overcome the social and cultural obstacles in the Meccan society and how to deal with technological and doctrinal disagreement among his followers while spreading the message of Islam. Second, to discover reason of physical violence and persecution affected the growth and spread of Islam in the earliest year of the spread of Islam. And last, to analyze the role played by Malaysia culture traditions and Islamic technique in supporting individuals who involved in moral problem with reflecting the experience of the Prophet Muhammad. So as we know, akhlak Rasulullah SAW is the best akhlak ever for us Muslim to follow what Rasulullah SAW teach us. So in Dakwah, in this research, give us the lesson of Rasulullah SAW teach us what we need to do in Dakwah. So how we need to react with certain of mad'um. So this is research objective. Our main content in this research is discuss lesson from the morality and etiquette of the Prophet Muhammad SAW in his Dakwah journey during the past. Give guidance to Muslim today, forming a society that follow the moral of the Prophet Muhammad. So, for example, the lesson that we got from Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in Dakwah, especially because this is about lesson that we get from Rasulullah about Dakwah. So, first, we need to be patient in any situation that we going through. So we need to patient in our mad'um. As a da'i, need to patient to their mad'um and be gentle with mad'um because in hearing dakwah, for someone who need to you need to give dakwah, you need to be gentle. Okay, don't be angry. La if'asad, just gentle. And also qudwatul hasanah, like we show them what the beauty of Islam with salah, fasting. So that's also the dakwah. We show them about how beautiful Islam, what Islam do. So with qudwatul hasanah, and also with dakwah bil hikmah, lianna bil kalamul khair will give a good perspective others about Islam.
Then research methodology. Methodology is a way to explain how a problem is studied and the reason for a particular method and technique. Firstly, we use library research. Through written material, the researcher obtains various references sources about the challenges of Prophet Muhammad's preaching throughout his life. Then we use interview research. The researcher has prepared several questions related to lessons from the Prophet ﷺ, Dakwah Biography Towards Islam with Morality and Etiquette. In order to obtain this data and information, the researcher has randomly selected respondents from students of University Science Islamiyyyah II.
The purpose of the Prophet Muhammad's mission to spread Islam, Dakwah, and instill morality and social rules in society was complicated. Here are some of the main problems and issues he faced are resistance and hostility that is getting ridicule and sarcasm. Prophet Muhammad SAW was frequently disparaged and mocked by the Quraysh leadership and other participants. The second problem is exclusion and economic restrictions. The Bani Quraysh initiated a harsh economic and social campaign against the Prophet's people, Bani Hashim, which led to significant suffering and poverty. Next, the problems that Prophet Muhammad faced was social and cultural resistance. The pre-Islamic Arab society was primarily based on tribalism. The message of Prophet Muhammad regarding equality and unity in Allah challenged the existing social order and religious devotion. Additionally, morality practice like infanticide, slavery, alcoholism, and the exploitation of women are prevalent. Prophet Muhammad's exhortation to end this tradition was met with intense resistance from those who took advantage of it. Next, the problem faced when the Prophet Muhammad spread Dakwah was economic pressure. The expulsion of the Quraysh from the Muslim territory led to financial and social exclusion in the Prophet's family, Banu Hashim, that resulted in severe difficulty and starvation. Also, losing trades. Prominent Messians who converted to Islam, such as Abu Bakr, faced economic restrictions that threatened their livelihoods. In addition, internal challenges are also problems faced by the Prophet Muhammad when spreading Dakwah. New converts integrating various factions and new converts into a cohesive Muslim community requires great passion, wisdom, and diplomacy. The Prophet had to deal with conflicts arising from different levels of understanding and commitment to Islam. Lastly, hypocrisy and disunity in the Muslim community, especially in Medina. There are hypocrites, munafiqin, who outwardly profess Islam but secretly oppose it. This internal division is a serious threat to the unity and stability of the community. From the point of view of the challenge in the spread of knowledge, educating the largely illiterate community about sophisticated Islamic moral and ethical teaching is a big challenge. The Prophet had to use various methods to ensure that his message of Dakwah was understood. To describe the causes or factors that lead to the challenge faced by Prophet Muhammad SAW in his vision of Dakwah and promoting morality and ethics, there were several key factors. Firstly, social and political opposition that are tried to establish power structures and resistant to change. The leaders of Quraysh, the leading tribe in Mecca, considered Islam to be a direct threat to their power and traditional faith. They were concerned about losing control of the religious and economic traditions of Mecca, which were intrinsically linked to politics, ceremonies, and commercial endeavors around the Kaaba. Apart from that, the causes that lead to the challenge faced by Prophet Muhammad in his mission of Dakwah is economic interests and boycotts that are impact on economic interests and loss of trade and livelihood. The Quraysh initiated financial boycotts against Muslims, including the Prophet Muhammad family, Banu Hashim. This led to financial difficulty and social isolation. Additionally, cultural and moral issues are the causes of the trouble experienced by Prophet Muhammad SAW during his attempts to instill morality and ethics. Pre-Islamic Arabia had traditions like worshipping idols, participating in tribal warfare, having females infanticide, being slaves, and treating vulnerable individuals poorly. These factors altogether contributed to the difficulties faced by the Prophet Muhammad SAW in spreading Islam and promoting morality and good behavior. His leadership, consistency, and strategic approach towards this problem continues to be a model for Muslims dealing with similar issues in the promotion of Islamic principles. To prepare suitable resolve for the challenge faced by Prophet Muhammad SAW in spreading Islam and promoting morality and form, then are some suggestions grounded on Islamic perspective. Firstly, emphasize on education, that is providing comprehensive education about the true teachings of Islam and high ethical values is essential. This education should start from an early age, including family education and formal education in school. Emphasizing the importance of following Islamic teachings in daily life can build a strong moral foundation. Next, promoting interfaith dialogue. Following the illustration of Prophet Muhammad SAW, who maintained regardful connection with non-Muslim communities through open and regardful dialogue. Muslims should engage in communication and cooperation with people of all persuasions and communities to promote peace and harmony. Eventually, result for the challenge faced by Prophet Muhammad SAW in promoting morality and form is addressing negative practice. Communities need to work together to change negative practice such as corruption, oppression of vulnerable groups, and immoral exploitation. This involves effective education and law enforcement to transform behaviors and policies that are unethical. By consistently and effectively practicing these values, Muslims can positively contribute to solving problems and challenges they face, following the example of Prophet Muhammad SAW in his mission to spread Islam and promote morality and ethics.